Hello everyone, welcome back to Blink Grid. If you are new here, my name is Kunal and I talk about my life experiences. But right now we are talking about reading. This is a series which I've planned. So let's see how it goes. So today's video is something different. It's not about how to read and what to do, but it is about how we as humans come up with new ideas to avoid reading in any circumstance. And this is not just leisure reading or reading some self-help book. This is even true for your examination books or any kind of reading which requires effort. If you would resonate with one or two ideas out of these, then I'm very sure that you would be able to resonate with all the ideas which I have today. So let's get started. So the worst thing I have ever heard in my life, and this is within my friend group, is that I need to limit my screen time. So the entire day has gone by, and you have been using your cell phone for numerous reasons, and most of the time for useless reasons. And then when the time comes for reading, because the guy had a tablet as well, he says I need to limit my screen time and I need to limit the blue rays into my eyes. And I asked him, what about the entire day which you were exposed to the cell phone for like 4 hours or 5 hours? And then he says, like, from tomorrow, he will do it. So, this is the thing. Screen time, you can read a physical book as well. As I told you, you can read any book or any reading is fine. You don't have to be on the screen itself. Now the second one is my eyes are getting bad. Again the same analogy follows. You use your cell phone for n number of times and then when you have to read a physical book, you think about your eyes are getting bad, the letters are too small, the font is not good enough, the paper quality is not that good, or the paper is very dull, I cannot read it. And this is because you're holding a book when you're on your bed. Now it's a good thing that you fall asleep while reading, that's a good thing. But when you're holding a book like this, which is against the light source while you're sleeping, then of course you're not going to be able to read it properly. And of course your eyes are going to be strained. So reading is like spending 20 minutes just before bedtime, and when you feel sleepy, then you can go to sleep. And that's the reason, if you have seen in movies or in most of the houses where reading is prioritized, they have a chair in their bedroom so that they read there. Of course I'm not saying that you should buy a chair, but you can find something, you can sit somewhere and read like a page or two and then go to sleep. So that's it about the second one. The third one is I feel tired today. Now this might be a genuine case, but whenever I have come across all people or all walks of life, most of my friends were not tired, that I can personally guarantee you. Because when you say you are tired, you should not have the energy to go through your cell phone and go through all your WhatsApp messages which you have missed, and all the jokes and the memes and everything, because that too also requires effort. But that's entertaining, but you're not giving any chance for reading to entertain you, and you just keep coming up with these ideas or avoidances to counter it. Now the fourth one is my dinner was too heavy. Now you very well know that, not right now, since ages we are told in households as well that you should limit your evening food or dinner food. It's fine once in a while you can overeat or you eat more than your appetite. That's fine, that's a different thing. But daily this is the same thing happening, and you still come up with the same idea that today the dinner was heavy and that is the reason I cannot read. You can have light dinner or decrease the portion of the dinner and spend time reading. Because the reason I'm pushing so much about reading is that you don't have time for getting all the experiences possible in the world. You get those by reading, because the writers write it in such a way that you live the experience mentally, and then your brain actually assumes that you were there in that situation, and it remembers. Even if you don't try to learn it or remember it, it automatically remembers the things which are necessary for you as an individual. This is really funny. There was one of my friend, we were studying for like civil services, which is a huge exam and you need to study a lot. So there was a plan that in the evenings it gets really boring after lunch, or sorry, after dinner. So we used to read something which is not related to studies directly but indirectly, which can be left alone, but it's fine that if you read it. So my friend came up with this idea one day that he says, I cannot read it in PDF. What we will do, tomorrow we will go downstairs, get it printed, and then we will read it. And the next day arrived, and we again reminded him that we need to read this. And then he came up with the idea that PDFs are not good enough, the print copy will not be good enough. What we will do, we'll get the original notes from the shop downstairs. And this is how you come up with ideas. This is just a real example which I have faced personally in Delhi back then. So this is the thing, you can come up with any ideas. Moving on to the next. Now, not everybody can afford a tablet, not everyone can have iPad or Kindle for that matter. So normally I personally started reading on my cell phone, because even I could not afford it back then. So I was reading it, but what happens in cell phone, it's very tiny, the text is very tiny, and that's the reason you cannot properly read it. You can read it because back then I was young as well, so you're quite energetic and your eyes are very fine as well. But my friend is saying, I can read it in the cell phone, but the problem is I have to zoom in and zoom out a lot. And that's the reason what I will do, in the next month's salary or whenever my parents send me the money, I'll buy a Kindle this time, and or a tablet for example, and then I'll start reading. So this is another one. Moving on to the next. Now when you have a Kindle, you don't want to read on it. I have personally experienced this, and with my friends as well. So my friend said, I have this book on Kindle, but it's too interesting. That's the reason what I will do, I'll buy a physical copy. And till date, I'm telling you personally, till date he has not finished the book. Of course, there is a difference between an e-copy and a physical copy. Physical copy has a very different feel to it. But if you have to really read something, if it's interesting to top it all, then you could have completed the book on the Kindle itself. Moving on to the next. No matter what I try, I'm not getting into the habit. So now what to do? So there were one of my friends, like I was in the study circles, that's the reason I have many examples. He said, we need to get a tablet and only then we can read, and we will read like anything. I said, you're not reading on your friend's tablet which is lying around all day long. Why are you not borrowing it? And you know how males are, like guys are, they don't care much about who's watching what and who's borrowing what. And he never read on any of the tablets, and he bought a Kindle for himself. And now in Kindle, the problem is it has a EPUB, or I forgot the extension. It has a very peculiar extension which you need to convert the file into. So most of the things are available in PDF. And now the guy says, oh, I'll convert it tomorrow and then I'll read it in Kindle. And the same story follows. Moving on to the next. This is similar to the other one, but some people say, like some guys told me that my phone screen is too small. Now 6 inches of phone real estate is too small for them. So please mind well that are you doing any of these, and if you're enjoying this video, please like or comment. It helps the algorithm, I guess, because I'm not getting that many views. Anyways, moving on to the next. The mood thing. The mood thing is like, I'm not in a mood to read. So I asked the guy, how many years ago were you in the mood to read something, even if it's your textbook or something? And they have no answers to these questions. And I said, there is no mood as such. You need to push it in the initial stages. Like our parents push us to the school, no matter how much we cry. They start with nursery or kindergarten or whatnot, but they keep pushing us. And once we are into the groove, we start going to the school. And then we meet new friends and all that. And of course, we enjoy the school later on. Of course, there are ups and downs, but yeah, in generally, we enjoy the school. And now when you are old enough, you actually recollect or cherish those memories. So same is with the books. If you just start pushing yourself for a month or two, you will actually start enjoying it. Now moving on to the next. This is very typical one. Like in bachelors, you know how bachelors are. They don't wash their utensils in a timely fashion. But the moment you say that let's start the studying right now, then there will be at least 3 guys out of like 7. They will come up with this idea that first let's do the dishes, then we can start with the studies. And once they do the dishes, then they say that, oh God, let me iron my clothes for tomorrow, and then we'll start with the reading or whatever exercise we are doing, whenever it's connected to reading or understanding something. Then there is another one which is a newer one. I will watch this season and then I will start reading, or I will watch this episode, or I will complete this episode because it was pending, because I was traveling and I watched like 30 minutes and now for 15-20 minutes are pending. So I will watch that and then I will start with the reading. Of course, If you do that, you have already lost your energy there watching it, because that will keep playing in your head that this should have been done that way, or he should have not died on this and that. And moving on to the last one, this is cumulative thing about all of them, that the moment you try to read something, you come up with this idea, or your brain starts to think about all the possible things which you have been avoiding doing some different work. And when it's the time for reading, it makes you recollect every single thing, that you have to polish the shoes, you have to iron the clothes, you have to get this from the grocery store, you have to get that from that store, and you have to stitch your bag. Any menial things you can come up with, but you won't start reading. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know what all other topics I can cover in the videos coming later on. Thank you for watching.